Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of Chiefin. I'm your host,
Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonnie. Live with you and talk about all the latest, what happened up in that game, break down all the scores and stats.
Let's just see that. Let's hope the Chiefs come back and show that their regular self. The offense has not arrived yet. Let's see if we can get it back rolling. That'll be crazy.
Facts. You know our little defense. Facts. Go Chiefs. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chief, and I'm your host, Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonnie. How you doing today, bro?
Great. I'm doing super duper good. Back in the building since that Super Bowl victory. I'm happy. I'm excited. Ready to go.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I mean, you know, we were busy, honestly, that whole week going up into the Super Bowl, and then after the Super Bowl, of course, we did the watch along as well too, and we also did our post game. So after that, we was honestly drained because leading up all the way up into it, we were doing stuff, we're having fun with other fans, getting their opinions about the game as well too. So really, it was just a joyous occasion for it to end like that with us winning another Super Bowl. We're back-to-back champs after a year that was, you know, not promising at first, and they was able to stick it out, get it together, and finish off the season strong. So, you know, we have something to actually be proud about. But we definitely got a lot to talk about as well too. We're definitely going to be discussing that game as well. I know we did a post game, but we actually now, after all the excitement is, you know, out of the way, we're still happy, but now we can actually break it down and go into it. We're going to definitely start discussing that, talking about how they became back-to-back champs. Also, we're going to be discussing CJ upcoming deal as well too. See if we see if the Kansas City Chiefs actually get that done. We know that they opted into that contract and decided to pay him the rest of that $4.25 million, so he earned the rest of his money on that contract like he was supposed to, pretty much completing that contract that we already signed with him as well. So now we have the chance to actually franchise him if we want, but it's definitely unlikely because that franchise tag that is at a cap of like 32 mil. You might as well just go ahead and get a deal done, right, if you're going to do that. And also talking about L'Jarius Sneed as well too. You know, he played throughout his entire rookie deal, 4th round pick, really elevated throughout the time he was here in Kansas City, especially the last 2 years, because we let go of Charvarius Ward. He took over the mantle as the QB quarterback one, cornerback. Let me put an emphasis on that, cornerback one. And this year, honestly, made a case to really be defensive player of the year, even though he was robbed of an all-pro. And of course, we're going to be discussing some notable free agents, some guys that we will like to come in, some guys that we probably don't want to really see go, but they might still be going. So we're going to be discussing that. And also, Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce adding stuff to the bulletin board already for this upcoming season, talking about how he has a recipe to beat the Chiefs, and also stated giving respect to Patrick Mahomes as well too, just saying that, hey, we're treating him like Michael Jordan, like the Pistons did back in their 80s and the 90s, right? Just really be very rough, not let him really take over the game, because he acknowledged that on the podcast as well too. So we definitely got to discuss that. But Lonnie, before we get into our first topic, make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too, and click that notification bell. That way you can get all of our recent content recent content that we actually drop on the channel as well. We had some previous stuff that actually went out this week. We had my extra point video, and also Clinton Home of the Chiefs breakdown, discussing the Super Bowl as well too. So go ahead and check that out. And if you haven't seen the live post game and the live watch along as well too, go ahead and follow along with that. It was a lot of fun. We were definitely invested in the game, and we had a great time. So just follow us on all our social media platforms. That way you stay up to date to on what we have going on, and when we have our upcoming shows and also live streams as well too. So Lonnie, to go ahead and start it off, we got to talk about that Super Bowl, bro. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 to become back-to-back Super Bowl champions since Tom Brady did it with the Patriots in 03 and 04. After a week has passed and the celebration was completed, what were your thoughts about this game? And do you think the Chiefs can actually complete the three-peat next year, which is something that hasn't been done in a very long time?
Yeah, so I loved how the Super Bowl went. I think it was a microcosm of our year all year. We won it defensively, getting stops on defense, kind of solidifying and showing that our defense has arrived, being one of the youngest defenses in the NFL. So I think we are primed for a three-peat. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Chiefs handle this offensive line situation going into this offseason. I know we got Jawan Taylor, but we're going to be losing Donovan Smith. And anytime you lose a veteran left tackle, anybody that's solid in there, you need to find a solid and adequate replacement. Being that Wanye Morris got some time, I'm thinking that the Chiefs know what they're doing there. So it's just interesting to see how the Chiefs handle this offseason. We didn't have the best weapons this year. So if anything, I think the Chiefs are primed for a three-peat, being that they weren't at their best and best equipped offensively this year, which is the team that we've known them to come to be. However, that changed this year. They were great defensively, and we can't expect them to continue to not have any offensive firepower moving forward. So I think if they get a little ounce of offensive firepower and they can bring the guys back that they have on defense, being that defense is so young, that they are primed and ready for a three-peat. I think the teams on both sides of the ball looks ready for a three-peat. I'm interested to see how they handle this draft. I think the drafts have become a luxury here in Kansas City. Seeing what type of talent we can collect and get through the draft. So I'm just interested to see how we flip the team this offseason, to see how he primes us for the three-peat. I think it's definitely possible, barring health and injuries. As long as they can stay healthy, I don't see anybody getting in the way of the Chiefs except for themselves, just like they were this season. So, like I said, hats off to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The defense winning that game for us. I feel like this is a recipe for success moving forward. Anytime you have a great defense and a young defense, a dynastic defense, that is just like wonderful for your team, works wonders. It's younger than your quarterback, so they're going to be good, better, a little bit longer than Patrick Mahomes may be on that other side of the ball. So, man, it's just, I think they're primed and ready for a three-peat. I'm excited to see if they can do it, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll start off with the game first. So really, I am proud of the performance. They may have started off slow. I don't know what it is with them being down 10 and just waking up after that. But hey, if it works, I'm definitely fine with it. But I feel like what we've seen throughout the entire year, it was actually different in the playoffs and within this game as well too. We've seen a lot of drops. We've seen a lot of big mistakes. Of course, we had a couple fumbles. We had that one with Isaiah Pacheco, and then we had one later on in the game as well too, I believe. No, that interception by Patrick Mahomes thrown like the first play of the second half or third play in the second half. So really, we had those mental errors. But other than that, the wide receivers played a clean game. Travis Kelce was a dog. Rashee Rice, of course, did what he did all season, just being a threat with that yak, getting the ball and just getting the yards after catch. And then you had a big moment from McCole Hardman as well too. He had a big play down the field for like 40 plus yards, almost 50 yards. And then you also had the game-winning touchdown as well too. So I just think overall they played a game that would have won a Super Bowl against any other team, just because, like you stated earlier, the defense has been dominant all year. We had great defensive back play from all our cornerbacks and also our safeties as well too. Trent McDuffie actually was a standout of that game, just having the highest grade among all quarterbacks this year as well too. He just really smart, made a big play on Debo, getting up up and just getting the PBU. That's just stuff that is overlooked sometimes. Of course, we like the interceptions and the big plays, but he just plays sound defensively, and that's why we were able to really lock them down, and they weren't able to do much. He was very aggressive. We know what Sneed does against other number one wide receivers as well too. Couple plays, got one, could have got a couple plays over to Brandon Ayuk. He was definitely a threat, but they did enough, and they were able to shut them down. Debo didn't have a great game as well either, but overall, they were able just to come in, just be consistent, and just understand the type of game they were in at that moment. They knew that they would have to actually wake up, and they woke up when they have to. And after that big, muff punt that they had, and Patrick Mahomes was able to respond and connect with MVS on that one play down the field for like 13 yards for that touchdown. Right there, it opened up the offense for them. And something I talked about, and I mentioned this on Twitter as well too, I said, even though Isaiah Pacheco, he may have not had a great game, but he did have like 15 carries for like 60 plus yards. Even though he had that fumble, I think with Andy Reid staying honest, it allowed for that big play at the end on that 4th and 1 in overtime, where we were able to do the read option and then able to get up field for 8 yards and extend the drive. Just understanding that, hey, even though he made a mistake, we still need to run the ball so we can be able to pass the ball downfield as well too, or set up plays like that where we can get it to Patrick Mahomes and he can use his feet to keep on extending the drive and drive us downfield to score a touchdown. So overall with that game, I am definitely happy with that performance. It's the last game of the season, so even though it was a couple mistakes, it happens in these moments like this because you're playing another team who is trying to really reach the promised land as well too. We got to keep in mind the San Francisco 49ers, they lost 3 straight Super Bowls, and 2 of those are being against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then one when they had the Harbaugh brothers and the Ravens was able to get that victory right there. So, I mean, for them to go ahead and complete this and put us in position to go for a 3-peat next year, I think is very likely, just because in the off season, we're going to really make a couple moves. You might lose MVS. You might not bring it back a couple guys as well too. So you able to make a move for probably like a mid-tier guy or probably almost a high-tier guy as well too, to where maybe you bring in a Gabe Davis who can match with Rashee Rice, and we know how much of a threat he is at that wide receiver position, and he's probably going to try to play on a prove-it deal as well too. We'll talk about that a little later on because we're going to go into discussing those free agents, but it's just a lot of things that they can actually do to be able to stay better, stay in the position that they are, get better, and be able to compete again next year. And that's what's going to scare a lot of teams as well too, just because you didn't beat them on their down year when the wide receivers was garbage. Patrick Mahomes had a couple bad games where he wasn't playing at his level. Travis Kelce in his head a little bit sometimes. You had him right there. Even though we had an elite defense, you had it to where this team always really depended on their offense to make a play down at the end of the game, and a couple times you didn't see it this year. You thought that would carry over to the playoffs, but you weren't able to stop it. Now them knowing their weaknesses that they have, and they're able to go ahead and patch that up in the offseason, you might have trouble going forward, and that might scare a lot of people off. All the Chiefs have to do is keep that same mentality, keep on finding something that drives you to keep on wanting to be great and go for another championship. And Patrick Mahomes, he's already taken some of that in and try to apply that to the offseason. He's staying focused, and he's going to get his guys ready to go as well too. So I would be a little nervous, not going to lie, because it's a lot that can happen. But anything you want to add on to that before we go ahead and move on to our next topic?
I think you said it best. I think they primed and ready to go. I can see it.
Yeah, it might happen, man. It might happen. And, we're trying to modernize records as well too, just like the WWE. We're trying to modernize everything. We're trying to talk about the present. We love the past, but we're ready for some things that haven't happened in a while. And they already broke one barrier with that back-to-back. Let's try to go for that 3-peat now. Add to that resume. So going forward on our next topic, bro, got to talk about the Stone Cold business. The Chiefs decided to opt in and give CJ the rest of his salary for this year for $4.25 million, allowing him to earn his full contract that he signed with us already, based off, redoing the deal before he got back with us in week 2. They also have the chance to put a franchise tag on him, even though we think it's unlikely because it's at $32 million. Lonnie, do you think the Chiefs get a deal done and not have the same issues as they did last year before the season start?
At this point, I have no idea where this goes, and I'm just totally honest. I like to get people's opinions to see what they think. We gave a million opinions on this. I feel like last year, and it did not go the way we thought it was going to go. I'm hoping that he gets that money. I'm hoping that they figure out a way to get it done. He showed that he's one of the best defensive players in the league as of right now. But he has a cornerback running mate that he's coming up with that makes his job very easy on the opposite side. But I'm not expecting him to go and show any mercy for the checkbook of Clark Hunt when it comes to getting his money. So I'm hoping that he gets the money. I'm I don't want this to be his last season as a Chief, but I feel like if he's tagged, if Chris Jones is franchise tagged, I think it'll be a tag and trade situation. Being that tag is so high, they'll want to figure that out, and that'll be just kind of like reminiscent of the Tyreek Hill situation. I know people probably don't want to hear that, but that's just where I think the direction it'll go in if we hear anything about the tag. But I definitely want to see CJ get paid. I don't know what the number looks like. I don't know where it's at, being that he just won the Super Bowl, and he may be on his high horse. I know the Kratz brothers are trying to break the bank. They want to get one of the biggest deals done because it'll be good for their records and their business. So this is an interesting situation. This is a situation where the player betted on himself and he won. So I mean, we can go through the game one misses and all of that other stuff, but Chris Jones came out on the right side of this contract. So I don't know where it goes from here. I'm praying that we get a deal done, but I feel like I know for sure if he's tagged, I feel like for sure he'll be traded.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to franchise tag him at all. I actually do think they try to get a deal done. If so, they're probably going to try to get it done before June or July. I don't want to really put a date on it, but I do think that is their main focus. Just because with Jerry Sneed, he's coming off of, his rookie contract, and with him being a 4th round pick, his franchise tag is going to be like 18 million, and they can do with that. So, and we talked about it before, where it's a potential that we think he could probably play on the franchise tag because, I mean, he's not a guy who get injured as much. He's kind of playing off his best year, and at his age as well too. You have another great year, we're going to be forced to have to pay you just like we did Chris Jones as well too. Just because of the success you've been a part of, and if you win a Super Bowl next year as well too, you're a 3-peat champion. And like we always talk about as well, they're not playing a quarterback position, so them getting 3 champions, getting 3 Super Bowls, it's not going to really do much for their legacy in conversation, because we're always going to put the GOAT conversation in the quarterback with the quarterbacks. So it's like you might as well go get the most money that you can. But with Chris Jones, and I think other people as well too, one person that stands out the most, who talks about it a lot, and I actually heard him talk about it earlier, Nick Wright. He said it like, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I will honestly probably just give him whatever he wants. Not like saying, oh, ahead to give him just out of control 40 million or you're 35 plus, but we can go ahead and talk in that 30 range due to the fact that he is the quarterback on that defense. And even though we lost Tyreek Hill, we see right now what we can do without Tyreek Hill. We won 2 Super Bowls and it was back-to-back. Mahomes had to come back, change his game a little bit, not have as many air yards. But that one season that Tyreek Hill was gone, he was an MVP and won Super Bowl MVP. And then the next year wasn't your best year. You won the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl MVP. We're not talking about Tyreek no more. We don't care. But that defense, it always ran off of Chris Jones. And I've always been an advocate for, if you get pressure, your defensive back group plays a lot better. Sneed is a dog regardless. But then you have a conversation of, you seen the cornerbacks and defensive backs that Brett Veach has drafted and what Dave Merritt made them? If Sneed was to go, you can put Trent McDuffie at 1. And you're not missing anything. You're not. I'm sorry. Yes, Sneed gets picks more than Trent McDuffie. I know. But also sometimes they want to target him as well because they want to get it to their number 1 receiver, right? So you have more opportunities. That's how I'm putting it as. Like, Yeah, like people, you can't have everybody. So it's your decision if you want L'Jarius Sneed more than Chris Jones. Now we can talk about the age for Chris Jones, but are you going to get another defensive tackle that can do what he does? Do you think so?
We've spoken about that before. I mean, if you have a Chris Jones in this draft, then I mean, and you can find one, then go ahead. But you
Is there a Chris Jones in this draft?
Absolutely not. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about. I mean, I feel like the closest one would have came out last year would have been Jalen Carter.
G, is it easier to get a L'Jarius Sneed?
It'll be easier to draft a cornerback. Absolutely.
Trent McDuffie, we got him out of a trade with Tyreek Hill. This guy has T-Rex arms as well, too. Not the tallest guy. More of his own cut corner when he was in college, right? But he had to play man in Spag's system, and he didn't look bad. He can make them into what he wants them to be. Now, when it comes to pressure, when Chris Jones was the only one getting it and he was getting double teamed, you see how that was. Now you get more out of George Karlaftis. You got some out of Mike Dana. You brung in Charles Omenihu, who has an ACL injury, so he's not going to be back week 6 until like week 6. So do you want to be without 2 interior guys and a guy who's both of them are hybrids as well too, and you can put them on the outside? I love George. I really do. He's going to be trending towards being a top defensive end. But having that pressure in the interior, being someone who is the closest to Aaron Donald, I want to keep that. We got great linebackers. You're probably keeping Drew Tranquil.
Unless this is the thing, and this is scary. Unless they think Felix was that guy.
He sat a year. Unlike George, he had to sit a full year because we had dogs everywhere, especially once Charles Omenihu came.
I'm just saying, unless they think Felix is that dude to take the throne and be the next heir apparent, which he is a first rounder, maybe that's been what we didn't see, and it's kind of just slipped under the radar. So like he was a first rounder too. So like,
but it's weird. I think I like having elite defensive tackles and then having like mid to high tier defensive ends where they can get pressure on the outside as well too, and they have an engine. But if you're able to really collapse that pocket from the inside, that's how we was able to get a lot of pressure. And we got to keep in mind that Spags like to blitz a lot as well too. So if you leave a man unguarded with his linebackers and even DBs, and how well they tackle as well too. All right, like you got it. So that's why it's like with the edge rushers, I'm cool. I like it. Malik Herring, he steps up. When we have him activated. You have Mike Dana as well too. I don't think Mike Dana is going to get a big contract. Now, if somebody offers him a deal to where it's like a 3-year 24 or something like that, where it's like in the double digits annually, okay, he might leave us. But if it's still in that realm under that, we can probably be able to fight and keep him for that. We got a lot of guys that's going to be leaving. Willie Gay is going to be leaving. We're going to end up letting go MVS. So I think you do whatever you can to keep Chris Jones. Maybe it's the Super Bowl high as well too, just like wanting to keep back a lot of guys as well. But in a way, I just want to make sure we keep the foundation of what started that dynasty as well too. And Chris Jones was a part of that. L'Jarius Sneed came in after that first one. We lost the next one, and then we didn't go back. And then we came back and was a part of the Eagles one in Super Bowl 57, and now this one. So he a 2-time champ. Chris Jones a 3-time champ. He is your leader. He is a guy that gets them fired up. He is the defensive captain. It don't have to be a 4 or 5 year deal either. It can be a 3-year deal. 3-year 90, 30. Do you really want 30 or you want more? We're not getting to 35. We're not doing that.
That's why I said I would hate to be that beat right now.
I might talk with a 32.5 though, because that's a franchise tag number. If you did it to where you can place it on them, why not get it to where it could be the annual, right? Just saying. You can do some things to lower the cap hit as well too. Let's see how it goes. Anything else you want to add to that before we go ahead and move on to the next topic?
Wish we would have never lost Tillis. This is what we need him right here.
Right.
Some gymnastics.
Yeah, before we go ahead and move on to our next topic, make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too, and click the notification bell. That way you are updated on all the things that we have dropped. We have dropped our recent extra point video that I covered on the Super Bowl. Also, Clinton dropped his Home of the Chiefs breakdown as well too, discussing the Super Bowl. And go back and look at our past videos as well too. Most recently we did like the live post game, and also we did the live watch along as well too. Go ahead and tap into those, because that was a fun day on Super Bowl day. If you want to just go back and look at old Super Bowl content, you go check that out. Also, we did our interviews throughout the week as well too, where we talked to first we talked to Kenneth on the first day, we talked to Larry on the next day. After that, we spoke with Dre. We were able to talk to Alex as well too, and then to cap it off, we had Rodney on that Saturday, and then we had Dooney from Arrowhead Rejects on that Sunday. So go ahead and check out those interviews as well too. We had a good time, had some great discussions, some things that y'all might want to go ahead and comment on and be like, hey bro, you stupid, you should never said that, just little stuff like that. So go ahead and watch those old videos as well. But now, Lonnie, let's go ahead and go into our next topic. We were just talking about Chris Jones. Now we're going to talk about L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed is looking to get paid. He said that on the K Adams show. It was like, pay me. So I think he's excited to be off this rookie deal. He ready to talk business. I think he want to get that top level market money at that cornerback position. But he played out his rookie deal, and he's looking to become one of the highest paid defensive backs in the league. Do you think it would happen, and would it happen with the Kansas City Chiefs?
This is another one. I think it happens one way or another. LJ is not a big, flashy, dashy Jalen Ramsey, even Deion Sanders type of guy. He flies under the radar, does all the dirty work, does what you need him to do, and he gets the job done. So I'm hoping that a deal gets done. He's never been the guy, like I said, to be the front of the room, banging his chest, big 3'8", shoes and big. I'm 30 all in the camera. He's not as big as he's not a typical cornerback. Even at the parade, they kind of like had to force him to talk. So I'm hoping that Sneed gets this money. I think this needs to be done just for the sake of Kansas City's sanity. As far as when it comes to DBs, we have not had the best luck at finding cornerbacks. We have waited and coveted for so long to get two of the greatest cornerback tandem as of right now in the league. So we have waited for this and yearned for it for so long. I feel like for them to just let L'Jarius Sneed walk out to the door without trying to get something done, without offering him a number that he cannot resist, would just kind of be a big slap in the face to the Kansas City Chiefs fan club and the fan base, period. Because like I said, we've yearned and wanted a cornerback of this caliber for so long. So I think that the Chiefs do get something done. If they don't get it done, they will tag him, especially with it being at that $18 million number. But as me and you both know, the tag is essential, especially when you're winning championships, and we need to keep guys around that we can't necessarily find a way to pay. So I could see that possibly being a factor here for L'Jarius Sneed, and I could see him playing on it, being that he's not a super duper cocky guy that wants you to back the Brinks truck up to training camp and bring all the money bags out to the field and give him let him sign the contract. Just because he's not that type of guy, I can see him taking that 1 year guaranteed deal and making the Chiefs pay him again next year if that's the case. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, but I'm hoping and I'm praying that they do pay L'Jarius Sneed, because he's been the best this year. It's him, it's L'Jarius Sneed, and it's everybody else.
So you think L'Jarius Sneed is the person that you need to worry about the most in this upcoming offseason?
For sure.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to disagree. Just because my answer is going to be I do think he becomes the highest paid DB in the league. and more than likely it might not be in Kansas City. However, if they wanted to be like, you know what, our defense, they were the ones who showed out this year. We want to make sure if they take care of that side of the ball, let's go ahead and play Chris Jones and Legarius Sneed if we can. I'm all for it. The reason why, I'm sorry, I know we want to always maximize Patrick Mahomes' talent, but he screwed up showing that he can do it without the wide receivers. I'm sorry, bro. You messed up. You showed you're really Isaiah Pacheco walking around with a goat for a reason, bro. I'm okay with putting it out there. And the reason why I said this because the thing is you're still going to make moves to create cap space anyway. Patrick Mahomes is going to go ahead and do a restructure where he can put more money out there. And then also you're thinking about like getting rid of guys like MVS where you'll probably save like 11 million in cap space as well too. And then you have a lot of notable free agents that's on the market as well too. And what you're going to do is you're just not going to bring back everybody. And then, and that's going to be the next subject because we're going to talk about the notable free agents and talk about who we like to bring in, and then I can get deeper into it. But one thing that came out was like, if you do that, you let MVS go, right? It's a possibility that Tony might be gone. So you're really rocking with Rashee Rice coming back. I think they probably try to bring back McCole on some type of deal as well too. I'm gonna put that out there just because we can work with him. Justin Watson is already on his 2-year deal. He's just a valuable option for Mahomes who always come through when he's asked to come through. And then you're going to deal with Sky Moore due to the fact that he's a rookie. He dealt with injury as well, too, and they let him sit for the rest of the season. And I think they see a lot of potential in that. And then you have the other guys like Justin Ross and Richie James is a free agent as well. You know who everybody forgot about? Nico Remigio.
Yeah.
If you would have saw him this season, he was going to be on the active roster. Justin Ross might not have been on that roster. Them boys, him, Rashee, and Kelsey, and y'all didn't even know about him. Y'all would have been like, oh, if he was out there, one of them already would have been dropped. He wasn't dropping nothing in the preseason, bro. He was a threat. But that's why I'm chilling because I'm looking like we don't need to go get 2 or 3 receivers, bro. And we kind of do decent in the second round when we pick up Scott Moore was all that, but he could have really been that. Like, he's really a route runner. And he really route dudes. He just got to find that connection with Pat, and he would have been solid. So you're doing that, and then probably go get somebody young like a old boy from New Orleans that's going to be a free agent. Shaheed, he's a deep threat. We're only looking for a deep threat. Shaheed, Gabe Davis, he's a deep threat as well too, especially with his height. He's a jump ball artist. He had that game against us in the playoffs. We sent him home, but he had the best game of his career and his playoff career. You add that, and it's cheap. Come on, bro. Go ahead and just lock down Legarius Sneed, Chris Jones. Defense is going to do what they did again because you still got a lot of those guys on their rookie deals. And you got to think about Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, all those guys who's coming up as well, too. You got to lock them down.
You talking about the next question before you answer the first
But
one.
I'm just saying, I just told you, dude, the Legarius Sneed. Just sign both of them. I'm cool. If you want to do it, I'm flat out. Just go ahead and sign both of them. We can figure out the offense. You have a lot of people on rookie deals.
And I feel like we'll find out. We'll see. Because if they feel the same way that you feel, and they understand and Mahomes understands and respects that, we'll see the operation in this offseason unfold in that manner. But if they don't trust that, I don't think it plays out like that. And we hoping that they do. The way they talked about it all year, we hoping that they're not lying to our face. But this is a business. Business is business.
And this is our opinions as well, too. We're not going to say this happened. It's just like, This is what I want. Is it possible? Probably not. Like, I'm probably could be reaching for the stars. Like I always tell people, too, I don't get into money. I just get into, like, what I actually want. If we're able to do it, sometimes you're able to make stuff work as well, too. That's all I'm saying. Now, when it comes to the figures, that's a different conversation. And I understand if it's not able to work, I know that Brett Veach and his team, they had to do the best for Kansas City Chiefs, which is fine. I think the only person honestly who is off limits is Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
That's all. Until he get into those Brady years, how he was with the Patriots, you did like 17, 18 seasons, and you won about 5, 6 championships, and you want to prove it without Andy Reid. Like, we understand that one because you're retiring in like 2 or 3 years after that. But I don't even think you'll want to do that. But it's just, he's off limits because we're now the dynasty is submitted. So we're helping him catch Brady. We're helping the organization move up in championships as well too, to be considered one of those grandfather teams in the NFL who was one of the greatest organizations. Let's be honest. We're doing this because we should have really been treated like this. We got to remember that Lamar Hunt is the founder of the AFL NFL merger. So I feel like someone um who is like
A
he
matriarch.
a matriarch. Yeah, he's a matriarch. He's a historian in sport. You want his team to be at the top, just like the Lakers, just like the Celtics, just like the Bulls. All of them, like they should be a part of being that type of team because our owners was a part of creating what we love today, and while we are fans of this game, so I think they have that same feeling. But I know we're ready to go ahead and go on to the next topic as well too, because really, you're right. I've been cheating a little bit over there. I've been cheating a little bit over there,
He
bro.
already said how he feel about it, but go ahead.
Yeah, like, and I'm gonna go deeper now because I was not trying to say much, but it was like now I can say it now because we're going straight to it.
Go ahead.
But honestly, bro, who are some notable free agents you would love to bring in this off season? And also, who would you hate to lose as well too? Because we know Willie Gay and some others is included in that. Now, I want to talk about ours first. Who you're going to hate to leave, and I got them up right now for us. So as of now, of course, we got Chris Jones, who
Hmm.
he's coming up. He's going to be turning 30. McCole Hardman, he's an unrestricted free agent as well too. Mike Edwards, our safety, who we brought in on a 1-year deal. Drew Tranquil, I think everybody is on the train of like making sure he's back. So sorry y'all, my camera just fell. That's crazy. But I'm good. I'm off screen. Cool. Who else? So yeah, we talking about probably bringing Drew Tranquil back, and then Donovan Smith. We know he's probably not coming back in. He's 30 years old as well too. Clyde, we didn't opt into his 5th-year deal, so he's off, and they actually put him at market value. Tommy Towles in our planner, I think we try to bring him back. Nick Allegretti, we figure out because he's our guy who we move around on the entire offensive line. Tershawn Wharton, our long snapper James Winchester, Willie Gay, he's at market value. He's probably gone. Blaine Gabbert, I'll talk about Drew Lock later on that. Jerick McKinnon, we know he'll probably be done. He's 31. He about to be 32, so he probably won't be back. Derek Nottie, Richie James, Blake Bell, of course, L'Jarius Sneed, Jody Fortson, Michael Dana, Malik Herring, Jack Cochran, Najee Johnson, who has got better and he's recovering. He recovered from his ACL injury and he's looking good as well too. And also Mike Calindo. So based off all those people that I named, I just had to name them all for you so you can kind of like think about it. Like, who would you hate to lose the most?
Of course, it's L'Jarius Sneed.
We're cheating. No, with no Legere.
Let's take
We
him out.
really want him back.
Okay, we really
And
want
Chris
him
Jones,
back.
no Chris Jones, and no Chris
Exactly.
Jones. Yeah,
But just in all reality, I think it's It's got to be Drew Tranquil. The way our team ran um,
we hate Willie
without.
now.
I'm sorry, the way the team ran without Willie and then ran without Nick Bolton for a while, second to none. Drew Tranquil will cause us problems when he was with the Chargers, and let alone we finally got him on our team. I feel like he's a Swiss Army knife. I'm on the Tranquil train with everybody else. I love it. I love the energy that he brought to the parade. You could tell he's just passionate about winning. He wants to win. His legacy is more important to him than just going out here and making as much money as he possibly can. I know that's always the goal, but you can tell this man is hungry and he wants to win championships. And he believed everything that Big Red told him when he texted him that first time. So I really don't want to lose Drew Tranquil. And the other one have to be Willie Gay. If I gotta have a second choice, it's two guys in the linebacker room.
I said who you
Because
all hate, so like it's not no limit.
yeah, well, yeah, Willie Gay. I wouldn't want to lose Willie Gay either. He's a juice guy. He's been around since day one. He knows what this organization is through and through. He was drafted by us. He was brought up by us. He went through some injuries and battled back. He ended up going into the guy that we drafted him to be, the guy to guard tight ends. Now he wasn't the guy that we projected him to be as far as being the best at that particular category as far as guarding tight ends. However, he played a wonderful role in just being that juice guy, shooting gaps, kind of flying around, being the next guy that we've seen since kind of Derek Johnson to kind of bring that extra step and juice in the pass game, and in that blitz and rush game. So those two guys for sure, and one more, Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards brought that ball hawk ability that they talked about with the Buccaneers. It translated immediately here with the Chiefs. I don't know what it was about Spag's system and him getting older seasoned DBs and getting them to cooperate and do good in this system, but second to nobody, I feel like, as far as having to be on a 1 year deal and just coming out and absolutely showing exactly what the scouting report reported about you, being a ball hawk and going up and getting that ball. So those three are the ones that I think I will miss for sure in this offseason.
Well, the Mike Edwards one, I think like he probably would be gone though, just because I think he loved what he's seeing from he loved what he's seeing from his young DBs, his young safeties as well. I mean, you got Shamari Connor who stepped in, while Brian Cook was out, and of course Mike Edwards took over that starting role for him. But him being in as a third DB, you get Brian Cook coming back. It's like I got all three young guys back there, and of course Justin Reed's still there as well too, where he's still holding down the unit. But you're not missing nothing because they all had crucial playing time. So it's like I can let the vet go and I can work with what I have. But the guys that I don't want to go is it's really Drew Tranquil and Willie Gay. I would want to throw Jody Forson in there, but honestly, Noah Gray, he's been solid. He's been learning a lot from Travis Kelce as well too. In some moments, it's like, is that Kelce or is that Noah? Because he's not as like finesse like with Kelce with his like movements, but you see he trying to do it like the little ugly non-moving juke that he does. It's like and do it like you see he try to do all of that, so he's learning from him. But so it's like I would love Jody Forson because remember we talked about how he used to be a former wide receiver, and we saw when he was in there, he was a dog as well too. He was really a red zone threat, like a real true red zone threat. Put him on the outside. Yeah, he a tight end. He can block as well too, but it's like with his height and his size, you're gonna put him in jump ball situations, and he was winning. Even across the middle as well too, he was dominant. So I wouldn't want to lose him, but he might go due to his injury history, and he's 28 years old as well too. Willie Gay, I just love his athleticism. I just think he brings a lot of swagger to this team as well too. He's always the one who's starting a little swag surf, or just in general being the hype man and just doing all those little things that help get your guys motivated that maybe someone else doesn't have like the energy to do. Now, Chris Jones, he get in your face. He more of a guy who kind of gets into it. He gives his little motivational speech before the game, but Willie Gay is one of those who come out there. It's like he's pumped. He's hyped. He has everybody ready to go. Drew Tranquil, his IQ is just out of control. So it's like what you saw this year and seeing him at the parade as well too. His enthusiasm, being a part of this organization. Yeah, come on, go ahead, come back, bro. We'll figure out something. We need you. So that's why I think right now, and with the linebacker group that they have, you got Leo Chenal who's stepping up. Nick Bolton is your force in the middle. He is your starting linebacker. He is the one who calls out the play. So bringing in Drew Tranquil, who has that experience as well too, it's like you can deal with that. Now, I will say the argument for this. In that Super Bowl, a lot of people said, I didn't see too much of Drew Tranquil. Who did you see out there?
Willie Gay.
What was that defense doing still?
They were stifling, but I'll give it to. I say this too about Willie Gay. Willie Gay does have the Justin Reed-itis sometimes too, and overruns plays and tends to miss tackles, wide open tackles too as well. And that's not. I'm not trying to throw any shade on Willie Gay. Like I said, I've loved him here for years, but he's not a surefire tackler out there in open space all the time. He does tend to overrun plays. As far as just with his athleticism, like some plays that he should make for tackle for a loss, would turn into 5-yard gains. So like,
And sometimes, and the ones that he do get, it be some major losses as well too. And
it
he just
does.
read it.
Yeah.
But I think you just get that consistency with Drew Tranquil. He was very smart, especially on some of those trick plays where he just stayed disciplined, stayed there, and they weren't able to do nothing. So right there, it's like you pick and choose. I think whatever decision you make, you will be fine. But of course, Drew Tranquil will be the cheapest option, especially with it coming up. Now, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Before we get into who we actually want to like probably bring in, to be honest with you, like I don't think I would mind losing to Tommy Townsend. He flipped the field. He flipped the field a lot
He
in the
didn't
Super
have
Bowl.
his best postseason in these past couple postseasons, but in the Super Bowl he played absolutely out of his mind when we needed
But you know
him.
what
We
I'm thinking
needed
about?
him to play best.
But Matt Ariza, who got released by the Bills, and you know he beat his case as well too. He was actually considered, but he was considered the best punter in the league, bro. He
They
was.
said punt God.
Yeah, he was the best punter in the league. He just haven't been getting picked up just because like I think right now they letting everything, but everything played out like the he's not guilty, and it is a touchy situation, but he is a great punter, so you'll never know if that actually comes up. But typically in situations like that, we try to get like guys like Tommy Townsend signed because they don't cost as much. Go ahead and just lock them up. That's a position that you don't have to worry about anymore. You see what money you got and see what you can do as well too. But I think they might let that go. Like they might just be like, "Nah, go ahead and bring him back," just because he's not horrible though. But but he's not as consistent as Colquitt. But when he bombs it, and he flips the field. And we do have a great coverage team as well too. So, but just to put that out there. But who are some notable free agents that you're actually, who do you want to sign?
Yeah, I seen the list of wide receivers. It's really just a wide receiver. I don't really see the Chiefs really needing a whole bunch of help in all the other areas, but I of course want to try and bring Drew Tranquil back. And I've been hearing the name Michael Pittman Jr. I
I heard
like
he high
that.
though.
I don't until we see the numbers. I don't know, but I like that move. He's a yak guy. I know it's a guy in Indianapolis who's in the Frank Reich system. He flourished a lot, so that's the same type of system that Andy Reid runs. I like that signing. That sounds good to me. Also, Calvin Ridley, he's a field stretcher. I know some people think that this MVS-esque, but he's a stretcher. No matter how you slice it, he was a guy that was burning stuff down there in Atlanta, and he did the same thing with the Jaguars. And I feel like if he gets with the right quarterback, he's just a quarterback away from a 1,200-yard season at least. So I say I like Calvin Ridley, and I definitely like the Pittman signing. And I'm not too much of a fan of Gabriel Davis just because not being able to stay healthy. And there's some inconsistencies there. I know he didn't have as much as a successful season as he had the year before last with Josh. So I'm just not really too interested as far as Gabriel Davis goes. But as far as just the defense, Drew Tranquil for sure. Just get him back in the building. Like you said, that defensive mind. And then Michael Pittman. And then I look at guys like I said, who's the guy that I just mentioned? Who was that? Michael Pittman Jr. It was one more that's out there.
T. Higgins out there too, but he might get franchise tag.
No, that was Gabriel Davis. Yeah, I'm not
Gabriel
really
Davis.
into Gabriel Davis too much, but yeah, Michael Pittman Jr. and Calvin Ridley. So like, yeah, those are my three. Four people that I'm watching here on free agency.
I'm looking at the list right now. T. Higgins he's going to be like restricted free agent, and he would be requesting market value. So be like that. I know a couple guys that they keep on trying to like link us to. It's like a Hollywood Brown because he's a deep threat. I always was saying Calvin Ridley, but I hear that the Jacksonville Jaguars might go ahead and franchise tag him as well too. But some names that I saw that was low key popping up. I was seeing like a Cedric Wilson from Miami. You got Curtis Samuel from Washington. Tyler Boyd. It looks like if they're gonna place a franchise tag on T. Higgins, they're gonna go ahead and let Tyler Boyd go. So honestly, just because I think we got all areas covered, even with some of the losses that we have, we got people really in position to step up and play. The only thing that we worried about really in this situation is what we're going to do in the wide receiver room, because if you let MVS go, you it's potential that Tony stayed just because he on his rookie deal, and if he, get his head out of the gutter and they have some type of conversation, you might see him back. Hopefully he has a better next season, but you kind of like just let some people fall off. You can kind of bring in some just mid tier guys that can come in and step in and still make Mahomes have a feasible group. Because with Juju Smith Schuster, I mean, that's the only guy we missing. They were okay. They were the highest scoring offense in the league with that. So I think if you get somebody to match with Rashee Rice and what you already got with Travis Kelce, you got a good running game with already Isaiah Pacheco back there. It's just you can just make something work with that. We're not going to get a Mike Evans. He's going to be too much. And do you really want to pay somebody who is at 30 years old, who's about to be 31 next season?
No,
Odell Beckham, he got an injury history. He's 31.
Don't see it happening.
Yeah. So really, I like Curtis Samuel when I saw him in Washington. I don't know if he's that much of a deep threat. I would have to go back and look at his highlights. But with his age at 27 and a half, he might not be asking for much. Maybe you try to finesse that. If you can get him, he's a vet. He's talented as well too. So you can kind of work with that. So we'll see. But I haven't heard him too much out there. Maybe he's probably a potential that can be franchise tag as well too. That's why he's probably not being mentioned as much. But Cedric Wilson from Miami kind of stands out, and he had a good game against us in Germany as well. Like towards the end, he had that touchdown against us, and he also made some big catches. So is he better than MVS being downfield, being a deep threat? Probably. Who knows? But he's 28 and a half as well too. So we'll see. It's just with this right now, it's hard for me to really say because I gotta see what's going on. I need to see who sparks interest more for the Kansas City Chiefs, because once we start getting rumors out there, I get deeper into like, hey, do I feel like this guy will be perfect for the team, and then I make my decision based off of that. But anything you want to add to that before you go ahead and move forward?
No, I'm looking forward to free agency, just seeing how what we do.
So what is it like in March or these next 2 weeks? They have to place a franchise tag on who they want to place the franchise tag on.
It's about to start. Yeah, usually pretty soon after the combine, around that combine time, that's when all the transactions and everything starts happening. So.
Oh, yep. We'll see. All right. So before we go ahead and move on to our next topic, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. That way you get all the updates. And when we drop content, that way you to be the first to be able to see it and tap in with us, enjoy time with us, comment, like, and share as well too. That way other Chiefs fans like yourself can go ahead and check us out. Now, Lonnie, get into our last topic of the evening, my brother. So we're going to be talking about the Vegas Bluff. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce feels he gave the recipe to beat the Chiefs. He also stated he was going to treat Pat like the Pistons treated MJ back in the day. Do these comments bother you, and do you feel they will have success next season against the Chiefs?
The comments don't bother me at all, and I'm happy that we ending this show like this, because this is a video I watched, and I was hoping I wish I sent you the clip, but I don't. It doesn't worry me at all. I actually want to put this video on a loop and play it in the Chiefs facility until they come back. Listen to this. Let this be your offseason. Let this be a catalyst to let you know how people are going to go into next season thinking about you, being that you're Patrick Mahomes and you are now a 3-time champion, and not only a 3-time champion, a back-to-back champion. What Antonio Pierce says, I have nothing. I don't feel any type of way about it. I feel like it's absolutely correct. That mentality showed on Christmas Day when the Raiders came in here and absolutely stomped the Chiefs to a pulp. We have to take that mentality and double it here in Kansas City. So if their job is to kick our ass for the whole 60 minutes, and beat Patrick Mahomes up, then Mahomes better be able to respond just like Muhammad Ali with the rope a dope and come back and hit him in the face and knock him and put him on the mat. So that is the plan moving forward. Take that as the plan for every team for a back-to-back world champion, period. That's what they want to do. They want to beat you up. They want to take your character. They want to just beat you up physically and mentally, and beat you down, break you. So that's what Antonio Pierce is teaching to that team over there. And I hope Andy Reid can, like I said, play that on a loop for his players. Let them know that this is now a rivalry. Well, the rivalry is back. I wouldn't say it's a rivalry because they haven't won.
It's not bad.
But I feel like as far as the mentality in as far as the Raider culture and the Chiefs culture, we have to kind of start getting that bad guy mentality again. I feel like these rivalries are going to go back to the old ways that they were, with the arguments, the back and forth, and you may even see some pushing and shoving here and there after the play, just because that coach over there is leading these guys in a direction as if they are players. He's a player's coach, as if he's out there with his guys. And they love it and they gravitate towards it. And like I said, it showed on Christmas Day when they came in here and absolutely just beat us to a pulp. So I want Mahomes and them. I want the guys to hear it. I'm not bothered by these comments at all. Prepare yourself for a season that everybody's going to attack you like this moving forward. So understand that this is what people are going to say and how they're going to feel about you. Period. They think you're a pretty boy. You're a two-time world champion. You don't want to get your hands dirty. You play basketball on grass. All of those things. So be prepared for it next year. Coming with a gritty, nasty mentality. And when you see red and gold, you just want to pound every time. Like he said he told the guys they see red, you think hit every time. You think hit. Okay, every time you see black and silver, you think hit. That's what I want my guys to think too. You just smash your face every time you see it. So we hate them just as much as they hate us.
Right. So my thoughts on this, I actually feel like he should have not actually said that at all. I actually like the mentality that he's actually trying to give his team, but I do think this is something that he probably should have said within the group and been their motivation throughout the entire offseason going into their first game against the Kansas City Chiefs as well too. The reason why, because we saw what Patrick Mahomes does when people are doubting him, and he always used that as fuel to go out there and prove everybody wrong. And you see a lot of the media members right now, they're kind of frustrated that and saying with the Chiefs saying like, hey, everybody doubted us and they feel like they didn't doubt them. No, you did doubt them. It's just what happened was y'all were really ready for the Kansas City Chiefs to lose and be able to say you're right. And now when they proved you wrong, you're saying like nobody doubted you at all. Some people were actually picking you. No, you really weren't having that confidence with them, and you were picking at certain things to really degrade what they had going on. So I think they had every right to, really step up and have that type of energy. But I think he may have messed up putting it out there. Now, I do think he was trying to really fire up his guys and show them like, hey, like being a player coach, as you mentioned as well, I'm connecting with you all, and I actually feel like I can go out there and play your best game and be better than them as well too. But right now, you are in that modern Tom Brady era with Patrick Mahomes, where he is the guy you have to beat. He actually is up on everybody in the division and also in the entire league. Now, Joe Burrow do have him 3-1. However, Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. When they go back and want to compare people, they're going to be comparing with Patrick Mahomes, not the other guys that are competing with him now in the league. And right now, he's chasing Tom Brady. And if he ever gets to the point of meeting with the Super Bowls, now people are going to have him at but Brady beat him in the most important games. What people are going to do is they're going to compare what they can do at the beginning part of his career. Because what he did in the beginning part of his career in the 7 seasons, 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 league MVPs, and being in multiple all-pro teams as well too, people are going to try to mimic that, because now, along with what he's doing, he has the accolades and he also has the championships as well too, and he's doing it in a quicker period. But going back to head coach Antonio Pierce, I love him. I think he's bringing the right mindset to the organization and trying to bring back that Raider football that Mark Davis loved. He likes going after the quarterback. He needs to have that energy. Just don't put it on national TV, because now guess what? You put it on the bulletin board. when Kansas City see you again, they're gonna remember what you said. You was ready for us to get out of Las Vegas when we won that Super Bowl. Said we need to get the hell out. Now they're gonna put all that in their head. We're gonna go back into your crib again, whoop your ass, and then when you come back here, we're gonna do it again. We let you get it off because they did it in previous years before where they beat us, but we beat them again. Of course, we won the division, but after that year after, they dominated them throughout the entire season. So you might have something like that again going against the Las Vegas Raiders. But overall, it didn't bother me at all. I was actually happy about it because I like bringing this style back, this style of football back, and bringing it back to the division as well too, because it also makes the story greater for the Kansas City organization. We are in one of the toughest divisions. They were still a dynasty throughout all of this. They beat them and plus the whole entire AFC conference and whoever they see in the Super Bowl as well too. It's adding more to that documentary we're going to see at the end of his career that we're all going to be watching. So I love it, but brother, calm down, slow down, because you still got to figure out who you have at quarterback. You think Aiden O'Connell is going to be the guy who beat the Kansas City Chiefs every time? Even in that game where I think they put up about like 20 points, right? Like, it was ugly though. He didn't have a clean game at all. So when we're playing at our best, he's not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think you still have a lot of holes that you got to fill, but at the same time, do what you have to do, motivate your guys, but you shouldn't have done it like that. Anything you want to add before we go ahead and close out the show?
All the greats had a reason that they were great. MJ used a lot of BS against anybody that he could find to make him great. Tom Brady did the same thing.
Right.
Mahomes, it will do the same thing. Thank you, Antonio Pierce. That's all I have to say.
Right. He's going for number 4 and doing the 3-peat. So we would like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode of Chiefin. We definitely appreciate everybody supporting the channel and everything like that. Just don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too, and click that notification bell. That way you can get all the videos that we have coming up and also our live streams as well too. Make sure to check out our previous videos as well. The extra point that I have dropped the other day, and also Clinton's Home of the Chiefs breakdown as well too. And make sure to check out our other live streams and our other videos that we put out as well too. Get caught up with all of that. So once again, we thank everybody for supporting the channel. We thank you for your time. We always have a good time talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We are Super Bowl 58 champions. We're going into the off season being comfortable, feeling good about what we did throughout the entire year, even though it was the best year, but we had bragging rights once again, and the Lombardi is back in Kansas City. We definitely going to keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the offseason as well too, and we'll be still having these episodes going on as well in the offseason, along with Clinton and Shannon doing their Home of the Chiefs podcast as well. We are trying to expand and going to be doing some things outside of Chiefin as well too, just because we want to bring in the general audience when we talk about regular football talk as well, and other sports that y'all might like to talk about as well too. You see I got my Royals jersey on, so you know what's up. So we definitely going to be trying to talk about that as well too. They make some big moves in the off season, so we're going to see what they actually can do this upcoming season as well. So we definitely want to stay connected with everybody like that. Make sure you follow us on our personal platforms as well too. You got me, Dale E. Fowler, on Twitter, and you got _ Lano for Lonnie on Twitter. Well, X on X. So make sure you follow us on that, and then also if you find us on all our other social media platforms as well too, make sure to follow us and we'll follow y'all back. But once again, we thank everybody for the support. Like, comment, and share this video as well too, so other Chiefs fans like yourself can come in and tap in with us and have a good time, and we'll make sure to talk to you on the next video. Go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom.